Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and salam sejahtera. My name is Siti Aisyah binti Muzaris.
Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. My name is Amira Natasha Zabidin.
In this video, we are going to present about awareness of mental health. The population and sample of this study is involve all students from Universiti Pendidikan Sultan Idris. Meanwhile, the sample of 50 respondents represent the population of students of Universiti Pendidikan Sultan Idris from different faculty.
There are 4 objectives in this study. First, to identify the estimation of mean, variance and standard deviation of respondents from students of Universiti Pendidikan Sultan Idris about awareness of mental health. Next, to identify the estimation of proportion for one population of male students. Third one, to identify the test of independence of gender and knowledge about mental health. The last one is to identify the analysis of variance ANOVA by using two-way ANOVA.
The significance for this study can be concluded as the understandings of awareness toward mental health. This study also can serve as early intervention, which can result in the fast recovery. This awareness can help people to understand what is mental health, how to overcome it, and so on. Thus, it can help people to reduce negative adjectives that have been said to describe our people with mental health problem.
The sample is gathered by constructing an online survey using Google Form. It contains several questions related awareness of mental health. After that, the Google Form was sent using a link to all respondents through media social such as WhatsApp, Telegram, Facebook, and Instagram. Besides, we also use Microsoft Excel to collect and analyze all the data.
Next is finding and analysis of data. For the first part is the estimations of means, variance, and standard deviations of respondents. The pie chart shows that 64% of respondents are female, while 36% of respondents are male. Therefore, from the pie chart, we can interpret the data into the table of gender and respondents. From the table of gender and respondent, we can calculate the sum of respondent X and the sum of X squared. From this data, we can calculate the mean, variance, and standard deviation. To calculate the mean, we can use the formula of the sum of x divided by n. So the mean we got is 25. While to calculate the variance, we can use the formula of ex squared minus the sum of x to the power of 2 divided by n divided by n minus 1. So the variance that we got is 98. For the standard deviation is the square root of variance, or the square root of ex squared minus ex to the power of squared per n divided by n minus 1. So the standard deviation we got is 9.8995. After we got all the data, we can calculate the estimations of mean of answered questionnaire about awareness of mental health by students. In this part, we use interval estimation, which the formula is x bar plus minus z alpha over 2 times s divided by square root of n with 95% confidence. As our n is greater than 30, we use normal distribution table. Therefore, our z alpha over 2 is 1.96. After that, we plug in all the data into the formula. So, with 95% confidence, the result we got is 25 plus minus 2.744, or the average of students answered the questionnaire about awareness of mental health is between 22.256 and 27.744. For estimations of variance and standard deviations of answered questionnaire about awareness of mental health by students with 95% confidence, we can use the formula n minus 1 times s squared divided by chi squared alpha over 2, df, and n minus 1 times s squared divided chi squared 1 minus alpha over 2 and df, df. To find df is equal to n minus 1. Therefore, for the first steps, is we need to find the chi square value. So as our alpha is 0.05, our alpha over 2 is 0.025. And the other one is 1 minus 0.025, we got 0.975. As our chi-square table don't have degree of freedom 49, so we need to find the degree of freedom by using linear interpolations. As the result, for 0.025, the chi-square we got is 70.122, and for 0.975, the chi-square is 31.655. After that, we plug in all the data into the formula. So the standard deviation we got is between 3355.552 and 7433.202. As for standard deviation, we can square root of variance. Therefore, the standard deviation we got is between 57.927 and 86.216. The next part is the estimations of proportions of answered questionnaire by male students. In this part, we also use 95% confidence. For the proportion formula, we use p hat plus minus z alpha over 2 times the square root of p hat times q hat divided by n. As for p hat, we can use the formula equal to x divided by n. Therefore, our p hat equal to 18 minus 50 equal to 0.36. As for q hat, the formula is 1 minus p hat. So, 1 minus 0.36, we got 0.64. As our n is greater than 30, so we use normal distribution table. Therefore, our z alpha over 2 equal to 1.96. After we got all the data, we can plug in into the formula. Therefore, the proportion we got is between 0.227 and 0.493. Or we can state that the percentage of answered questionnaire by male student is between 22.7% and 49.3%.
The test of independence of gender and knowledge about mental health. So here we want to test at the 5% level of significance. Can we conclude that the knowledge about mental health and gender are related? So the first step is write down the null and alternative hypothesis. For the null hypothesis is gender and knowledge about mental health are not related. For the alternative hypothesis is gender and knowledge about mental health are related. From the chi-square distribution table, the critical value of chi-square for degree of freedom 1 is 3.841. This is the non-rejection area and rejection area. This is the table for observed and expected value. The expected value is in the bracket 1. The value of the test statistic chi-square is calculated as follows. The value of the test statistic chi-square equal to 4.586, which is greater than the critical value of chi-square equal to 3.841, and it falls in the rejection region. Hence, we reject the null hypothesis and state that there is strong evidence from the sample to conclude that the two characteristics, gender and knowledge about mental health, are related for all student University Pendidikan Sultan Idris. The analysis of variance ANOVA by using two-way ANOVA. So, for the first one is opinion among student University Pendidikan Sultan Idris that physical health that lead to mental health problem. For the second pie chart is the opinion among student University Pendidikan Sultan Idris that lot of assignment that lead to mental health problem. And for the last pie chart is the opinion among student University Pendidikan Sultan Idris that lots of money debt that lead to mental health problem. This is the opinion among student University Pendidikan Sultan Idris related major problem that lead to mental health problem. We want to see whether the type of major problem and the opinion have any effect on mental health. So we have to write down the three hypotheses. First one is hypothesis for the interaction. The null hypothesis. There is no interaction between type major problem and the opinion on the mental health. For the alternative hypothesis, there is an interaction between type major problem and the opinion on the mental health. For the second one is hypothesis for type major problem. For the null hypothesis is there is no difference between the means of mental health for three types of major problem. For the alternative hypothesis, there is a difference between the means of mental health for three types of major problem. For the third one is hypothesis for opinion. The null hypothesis, there is no difference between the means of mental health for two types of opinion. For the alternative hypothesis is there is a difference between the means of mental health for two types of opinions. Then we have to find the critical value for each f-test. For the f-test for A equal to 5.14, f-test for B equal to 5.99, and f for AB equal to 5.14. Then we have to complete the ANOVA summary table. And then we have to make a decision. Since FA equal to 0.898, FB 4.456 and FAB equal to negative 4.46 are less than the critical value for FA equal to 5.14, FB equal to 5.99 and FAB equal to 5.14. Thus, the null hypothesis concerning opinion-related types of major problem and interaction effect should not be rejected.
In conclusion, this study analyzes 50 respondents from students in University Pendidikan Sultan Idris, and we also use software, Microsoft Excel and Google Form to analyze all the answers from the respondents. The demography of the respondents shows that most of them are female with 64% of the respondent, and the other 36% of the respondent are male. And the result shows that 32 respondents are each around 20 and 21 years old. Meanwhile, 64% of them come from Faculty of Science and Mathematics. The average of student answered questionnaire awareness about mental health with 95% confidence is between 22.256 and 27.74 for students. Meanwhile, the estimations of variance and standard deviation of answered questionnaire about mental health by the students is between 3355.552 and 7433.202 and 57.927 and 86.216 respectively. In addition, the percentage of answered questionnaire by male students with 95% confidence is between 22.7% and 49.3%. Next, we can conclude that the two characteristics, which gender and knowledge about mental health, are related for all students at University Pendidikan Sultan Idris, as the result shows the null hypothesis was rejected. Besides, we also use two-way ANOVA to analyze the data about opinions among student University Pendidikan Sultan Idris related to major problems that lead to the mental health problem. We can state that there is an interaction between types of major problem and opinions on mental health. There is difference between the means of the mental health for three types of major problem, and there is a difference between the means of mental health for two types of opinion. Thus, we cannot reject the null hypothesis. From this study, the response from the respondents shows that most of them are aware and have knowledge about this issue. This can prevent or lower the number of cases of mental health problem, which these issues seem increased day by day among all Malaysians.